Hello, this is the Northern Appalachian Film Collective's podcast. Our guest today is NAFCo member Kaylee Santell. NAFCO would like to
Hello.
thank its sponsors, West Pennsylvania Systems, the electrical design build contractor, and Dakota, the Du Bois Area Council on the Arts, for their sponsorship of the organization. Kaylee Santell is a remarkable young lady. While she is still in high school, she's also on the board of directors of NAFCO, president of the NAFCO Kids Video Making Club, has been in local productions with the local theater company, the Wrights Theater. She's involved in plays in high school, and was featured in an episode of Ma Media Works' Howitzer Tales series. Welcome to the podcast, Kaylee.
Thank you for having me.
I've heard that you want to be an actress.
Yes, it was a dream I've had for 2 years now.
Just 2 years?
Yeah, actually, it was more of a recent thing. Ever since I started acting in theater, I started getting into film, and I really enjoyed movies. It was like what I used to enjoy and used to kind of escape my own mind when things got crazy. So I enjoyed films, so why not be in them?
You've been involved with the local Wrights Theater group. What's the last thing you did with the Wrights Theater?
The last thing I did for the Wrights Theater was last year's summer workshop program, which, yeah.
And what's the summer workshop program?
Basically, it's a program where throughout the summer for a couple months, kids get together and the high school directors, they teach the kids how to act and different things when it comes to acting. And at the end, they perform a show.
And what was your role in this activity?
I was a part of the writer's workshop, which it's a part of it, but it's more of an optional thing. They actually write a short story and like a short play, which the way it was set up last year, I got to act in the writer's workshop because I helped write it. And then we went over ideas for the other two shows that we were doing, or the other shows we were doing.
Okay. Well, tell me about some of the plays you've acted in.
Well, the last, or I guess the first non-workshop show I did was actually helped out with the lights and sound for a play called Morzo Reclining, which, if I remember correctly, is about this painter and the story behind this painting. And that was the first show I did. Ashley Niger was the one who approached me about doing the lights and sound. Actually, that wasn't the first non-acting or non-workshop show I did. The first one, actually, I did a Christmas show with another NAFCo member, Dave Clark, and I was the stage right manager for that show. And that's when Ashley approached me asking if I wanted to do lights and sound, because I wanted to do more with theater and get a more broader spectrum of what goes on. So,
what plays have you acted in on the Wrights? I know you were in Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, the last show I did at the Rights was Romeo and Juliet, which that was an experience all in itself. But I did the last 9 years of workshops that they've had there. The first show was like an Arabian themed one. Then it was Honk the musical. There was Grimm's fairy tales, folk tales from around the world, Greek mythology. And the last one I did, it was circus themed. So that was fun to do.
You've been doing plays in high school as well.
The first show I did was my freshman year at the high school. It was a series of one acts. I was in 2 out of the 3. The one I wasn't in was called That Was No Lady, That Was a Private Eye. There was another one called Beggar's Night, in which I was Claire. He's kind of like the lazy roommate that was obsessed with Twilight. And the third show I did was called Bad Taste in Boys, and I played the annoying little sister, Cindy. I didn't get a chance to do, or I did some behind the scenes stuff for Good Cheer Home for the Brokenhearted, which was the drama. I helped move set pieces. That's what I did for that show. And that was freshman year. Sophomore year, why now am I blanking? Oh, it was different, it's like different ways to break, like different breakups. And the drama was Radium Girls. I was various background characters in that one. Which Radium Girls was cool to do because it's actually based on a real story. About is around the time when like radium was popular, like it was in everything. And then all these girls went to do the radium factory. They went to work at the radium factories where they made these radium paint to paint dials. And people like they started getting necrosis of the jaw because they would lick the paintbrushes, and it was bad. And it was like about these girls trying to get retribution for getting sick because of the radium. So that was interesting to play. Then the school musical I participated in, it was Mamma Mia, and which is only the second musical I've actually done. So that was interesting. It was fun to do Mamma Mia. Like I enjoyed learning the choreography and I enjoyed learning the songs. It was just tiring. Like I'd come home and I'd be beat.
Okay, back to the Rights Theater. You were in Romeo and Juliet. Were you in any other plays there?
Besides Morza Reclining and the Super Christmas Carol, which is the Christmas short I did, I was stage managing. I did another show, The Odd Couple, which was directed by Drew Gordon. And I was also stage managing for that show. And I actually have a funny story relating to The Odd Couple. It's a rehearsal story. One rehearsal, or there's a scene in The Odd Couple where Oscar throws a plate of pasta out of frustration, and the actor who played Oscar went to throw the plate of, it was actual pasta, and the way I had originally thought of doing the scene was having two stage managers behind the wall that we had set up to act as like the kitchen area or dining area, I should say. And we'd stay behind there with a piece of crappy fabric to catch the pasta so it didn't go everywhere. Well, he wanted to throw the plate and like he hit the wall, but then it like bounced off the wall and then hit me. So I was covered in pasta. And I was like laughing, but my laugh sounded like I was crying. So Drew ran on stage and was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I was just laughing. And the actor who threw the plate felt bad.
Who did you play in Romeo and Juliet?
Okay, in Romeo and Juliet, I was a Mercutio citizen, a Capulet citizen, and I was Paris's page. And what was cool about that show is it was set in like the 80s. So it was like that Greaser Outsiders theme. That was cool to get to dress like I was in the 80s.
All right, tell me about your appearance in Howitzer Tales, how that came about and what you did.
So how that came about was 2 years ago when I first wanted to get into acting. I had been telling uh, another NAFCo member, Mike Gaffner, about how I wanted to be in acting. And he had read about, I saw his Howitzer Tale series. And like I was asking him about it. And he suggested that he make a character for me. And this is in May, May 2018 when this happened. And I was excited because I got to be in a short film, and like I got to be a part of something that could be bigger. And so I kept messaging him about the character, and he'd ask me, and then he finally told me the character, like who she was about, and I got excited, and yeah. Then December that year, we filmed the first short that featured my character, which was a Christmas themed short.
And this Howitzer Tales is sort of a post-apocalyptic type setting.
Yeah. I like to think of it as if you took like the like the dystopian style future of like Hunger Games or Divergent and mixed it in with like the drama of The Walking Dead. That's how I like to think of it.
You also were a production assistant in a production about uh, Douglas Stallman.
Yes. I had been wanting to do some behind the scenes on film just to get more on my portfolio, if you will. And you actually text or you messaged me saying you were doing it and asked if I would be interested in helping out filming. And I accepted the offer and drove down to Brockway to film at the hotel.
Are a member of the board of directors of NAFCo, and you're president of the NAFCo Kids Video Making Club.
Yes.
Tell me about the NAFCo Kids Video Making Club.
Basically, the idea behind it is to get kids interested in all aspects of filmmaking. Whether it's script writing, directing, acting, actually shooting, like the scene, and brainstorming all the different aspects that come with filmmaking.
It's sort of come to a halt with this quarantine of the
Yeah,
teen. Do you have any ideas about how we're going to get it started again after the quarantine is over?
I'll probably get people back together to see what kind of ideas they have and shoot a movie.
So you want to be an actress. What are your
Yeah.
plans on doing as soon as when you get out of high school?
After I graduate, I'd like to move somewhere where film, like one of the film hotspots, I guess is what you'd call it, and get a job to pay rent, and then just put in my name for as many things as I can, make my way into Hollywood.
Become a struggling actress.
Yeah.
Um,
Hopefully not struggling though, but an actress, yes.
how do you see yourself being as a comedic actress, as a leading lady, as a action hero?
Um,
Are you going to do all of those things?
I haven't had that broad of a range of characters that I've played, like whether it's theater um or basically theater, because I've only ever played one character on film, really. So I haven't really had that broad of a range yet. So I haven't figured it out really, like what I'm comfortable with doing.
All right, Kaylee, you're uh, not very tall. Do you think that'll be an
No.
advantage or a disadvantage in your acting?
My mom always told me that it would be an advantage because I am not like everybody else, which makes me stand out among everybody else, which in the world of acting is a good thing. Like having something different about yourself makes you noticeable because you aren't the same.
I agree with that. So, is there anything else you'd like to say to all your fans out there?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say I have a lot of fans, but everybody who's ever given me a shot at anything, thank you.
Right. Well, this concludes our interview for the day. So I'll talk to you later, Kaylee.
Sounds good.